Ah, children, come, come.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, no, no. In fact, my old friends and I have...
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard you... That simply won't... Fortunately, I have not yet... Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well, I will not go into the teapot that you entered previously.
So, in the eyes of an adept...
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift?
That's right!
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find... Well, for starters, I require... You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies. But almost no one has been able to find shimmers. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure. Goodness knows if that child was...
Well, since you're an adeptus, Granny...
Yes. I suppose she...
She counts? How come there are so many adepti in Liyue Harbor?
Oh, maybe so.
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. Yanfei,
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates. A shame that we didn't. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear. Allow me to introduce myself once more. Oh, yes, here's my business card. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot.
all right, Yanfei, all right. You'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's...
Paimon was gonna ask the same question.
An adeptus? I guess, kinda. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey.
Well, that's a bit casual for an adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to...
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, the chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any...
Is that so? Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some...
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's
Whoa, that's a rip...
Commercial consultancy. Crossel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal... He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some smaragdus jadeite. Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem.
Wow, an adeptus imploring a... Best we be a little...
Hello, Mr. Crossel.
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice.
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned...
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire a small piece of smaragdus jade. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize, I've already...
Wait, isn't smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you...
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhiqi. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses, or in return, I included a clause that guarantees the smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the...
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to...
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need to ensure fair...
In that case, might you know where Miss Shirtal...
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed...
Thanks a lot, Mr. Cross.
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there...
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. My associates and I are very interested.
The hairpins. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, My family is in... We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around. So we've been having... A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants... That's what the hairpins were for, to... Well, to keep up appearance. But now that I've lost the hair...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of...
Would you really? I sent a commission...
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet.
Huh? Well...
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's true.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take... And given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite...
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so whichever way you look at it...
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Please. Please, however much it is, I will have to pay it. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossel in the dark any longer.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this... So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow.
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstone set into the... My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so...
Smooth to the No, it's nothing. I just need to...
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss You lost them?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mora! Do you have any... I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, it was in fact genuine...
Of course! Genuine art...
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow and
Thank you very much. How could she lose my...
Looks like I'll have to find some...
Please wait, Mr. Chow. It's not convenient to speak here, so...
Miss Yanfei, what is this about?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins...
What do you mean? Are you...
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jade, if mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience... Mr. Chow, did you at any time...
No, not at all.
Now that is, if I have deduced correctly, he may
If that's the case, we should go confront him right...
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would... And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment... After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay... Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be a...
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certain...
Well then, since you're so
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first...
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than...
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into...
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint.
This contract has so many pages!
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case...
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask.
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a... Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their... But again, let's not dwell on this. Ah, I've got it! Let's pay a visit. If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all...
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Why, hello there, honored customer. Surely not more spurious claims that my jade...
No, nothing of the sort. Has a
Snezhnaya... I do remember that. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way... He was quite generous with his money, too. Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all.
Thank you, sir. We'll take...
If my eyes don't deceive me, yes, it's not particularly rare. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of
A thin layer of...
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy.
Is that so? So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come just...
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come... These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep... There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, and, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost.
All right, let's focus up.
But never mind, Shirto.
Unusual actions have unusual reasons.
What should I try this time?
Miss Yenfei?
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store...
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record?
Of course.
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident.
With this hard evidence to back us up...
On the contrary, this is far from If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Aha! Got it! Sinxi. She often helps people to...
Well, that was quick.
Because lots of people come to me for... As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of but the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? As such, legal advisors like my...
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you...
Yes, well, that's no obstacle, because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You meant...
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's... Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus.
Again, with that casual...
Well, that's that then.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new
Join
items.
the Adventurers Guild.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked...
Crossell. Yes, I remember him. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to... This order was on hold for a very long time.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence...
Miss Sinxi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials. Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar. I also kept a copy for my own records. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite.
Thank you, Sinxi. And
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor...
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume...
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need...
The weird